Mr. Ambrose Somodion, Chief Research Officer, Investitor Consulting Limited. He joins us live here now. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, it's a new week. Well, give us a sense of the activities of the market last week. A total turnover of 2.79 billion unit of shares, worth about 23.8 billion in about 22,000 dues, was traded last week by investors on the floor. If you compare that to the previous week of 1.37 billion units of shares, valued at 23.78 billion, that exchanged hands the previous week. So, even though the value recorded last week was better than the previous week, in terms of performance, you see that it was better in terms of the dues. Sorry, not performance. In terms of the dues, last week was better than the previous one.
Actually, you know that as the market is trying to find its feet after like almost a week, the previous was a negative market. It was a negative outing for the week before this one under review. Investors have seen price pulling down. You don't know that in a or equity investment, when stock pull back, it becomes more attractive for you to enter. Seeing that the previous week market was on the decline, then in the new week, at the middle, see there was a kind of a renewed buying interest on the side of the investing public, telling you that they are still expecting these earnings that are yet to hit the market. And when it comes, let the earning meet them in the position than hearing with your ears or seeing the number before you jump in. No, I have already also told them in all these years that you don't wait to see numbers before you buy. You have to enter before the number hit the market, so that when it comes that is favorable, you will join the rally. For that, seeing that the market in the previous week was down, and I create opportunity for them to enter again. And also, don't forget that same week again was saying that there was kind of a positive outing or a signal coming from Ukraine-Russia issue when Putin said that that the talks are becoming positive and they are making progress in the talk. That actually also ginger some investors to let's go back to the market. That means in the near future might see this conflict coming to an end. But I tell you that investors in our market here, because the factors going for our market are still very much intact. I've said earlier on this program that we are looking at full year earnings season that is coming, that's extending to 31st of March. And from April again, we are seeing first quarter earnings for 2022. On that note, people also, let's calculate, we can stay in the market between now and end of April. You see, we're now kind of extending our stay in the market. That is one of them that people are looking at. And also, this we want to see the inflation figure to see, if our inflation have rallied high as what we saw in US. Well, US last week, the inflation hit about 40 years high. If our own is still going to come down or up, we want to wait to see. So that it also change the kind of decision investors will make between now and end of. Don't forget that also the coming week again is also MPC meeting. That means within now and next week, you see market was delayed. We want to see the inflation data. We want to see the outcome of MPC meeting. But I believe that as the way the things happen globally, I don't see our MPC meeting adjusting anything again. Because you can't need to do anything at this point that even the global economy, they are confused because, can I hike my interest or rate to control inflation? But only here, who are saying that our inflation is declining. That means until I want to see the list figure to see what will prompt in the coming MPC meeting. For me, the market is still very, very okay. Only that I say that don't be greedy. Because in this kind of market, if you are greedy, the little money you have made in the market will also take it back from you.
Let me also come in quickly. Yes, it means that this is a double advantage for investors. At the end, from April, we're going to be seeing the first quarter of 2022 earnings, and then, of course, by the end, we should have a full result
for the full year
2021. So you said we shouldn't wait for investors, should not wait to see the numbers they can invest. And so how can one play? So are you saying that the results are already positive? It's a kind of prediction, isn't it?
As an investor or a player in this market, we have quarterly results that come from this company. Just like when you send your child to school, at the end of the term, it comes with a report card. Every company on the exchange has to give the investment public or the exchange their scorecard. It's part of the post-listing requirement when you are listing on the exchange. That means you have seen the company first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. You cannot really look at where this company going, because you have seen almost third quarter of its performance. If you are waiting for the last one, that should tell you what you have seen for the third performance. To give you an insight what should happen from the company. That is why I said you don't need to wait to see the final number before you buy. You need to see that on the strength of those ones you have seen, you cannot give an insight what you should do, whether you should sell a position in that company, because if they are performing well, the numbers will show. If they are doing badly, the numbers will show. Numbers don't lie.
Okay. I think let's just quickly take a break. When we come back, we'll look at what the market or investors should expect the market in regards to portfolio inflows and positioning for this week. Let's quickly take a break now. You're still watching Business Breakfast, but of course, looking at the market last week and what the market expected or the direction for the week. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense. Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neo, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes?
I have a solution for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Sabi cook the banga. You're not going to enter my family.
Thank you for joining us. Now let's continue from there. Before we went to break, I was going to ask you what investors should expect from the market with regards to stock to watch, sectors to watch, the movement and direction of the market for the week.
Actually, for sectors to watch, I will advise the look the warfare oil and gas sector. You know, in the world now, commodity prices are rallying. Despite there's a pullback recently, yesterday on the international market. That does not stop that the price will not rebound. As far as this conflict continue in Ukraine and Russia, the price of oil will continue to look up. That means as an investor, design that you should be in that sector, and also look at also some sector again, like the Nigeria here, our industrial sector, where we are having infrastructural gap. Those sectors are going to provide the cement or the machinery for that. Also, is a sector to. That means whether there is recession or recession, whether there is high cost of high cost of production, or they need to put a road in order. That means those companies will also be doing business. Especially look the world of the cement industry. And if you look at that cement, we have about 3 giants there. The one that are becoming cheaper, I can see that the pullback in WAPCO for me is an attractive point for investors. Especially they've not marked down the date for their corporate action. It's a good one around there, 24, 23 naira. Ichikobo, it's a good buy. Then look at the world of Steplat. It's okay. It depends.
Okay, let's wrap up with this one now. For instance, you have the financial services industry last week, which led the activity chart with about 2.39 billion units of shares, which was valued at 14.3 or 14.03 billion naira, and followed by the conglomerate. You talk about the oil sector because of the impact of the Ukraine-Russia crisis that is ongoing. Now, recently we've started seeing the investors' appetite towards the insurance sector as well. So do we expect something going to come out of that sector this week?
When we say financial sector, we're covering both the insurance and the banking sector. For the banking sector, we know that they are most consistent in dividend payment, while insurance, the low price attraction is what investors are seeing there. But going to the future, there might be also some policy change, because most of the insurance companies are doing what we call recapitalization. That means possibility of margin acquisition in that industry is not high. That means investors are playing that sector. In case there's any margin acquisition, they will be on the gaining side of the acquisition of the margin. That's why you see activities in that sector. But I believe that what we saw in the banking sector is the activities of FCMB trading about 900 and something million shares. For me, it's a good one. That is that investors are really also looking ahead of more banking results to hit the market, especially the Access Bank, Stanbic, and also Fidelity and other banks to release their full year results. For me, the banking sector is equally okay because they are consistent in their dividend payments.